Michael Conforto, a White Sox? Could it be true? Here on the CHGO White Sox. We got the wrong music. Oh, okay. Heyo! Welcome to the CHGO White Sox podcast. Coming to you live from Studio West of our CHGO offices here in the West Loop of Chicago. I'm your host, Sean Anderson. Alongside me is Sarah.
Sorry, I was making a face. I thought the audio levels from the left and right were off, but that they're fine. No. I was just tweaking.
I also think the levels in the winter for some reason have gotten a lot worse.
Yeah,
on this side, on that side.
That's why I was making that face. But no, everything's great.
Level's been weird. Hey, we just said we had 26 live viewers, and now it's down to 9. So this is just really going great. Hit the thumbs up button, all 26 of you. Make sure you subscribe to the CHGO Sports YouTube channel. On today's show, we will be talking about Michael Conforto. The New York Post, John Heyman, over the weekend attached Michael Conforto to the White Sox, saying the White Sox have shown interest. Should they be interested? We'll talk about it. We'll also talk about the Baseball Hall of Fame. The voters are likely going to be voting in 3 people, I think, this year. We'll talk about who those 3 are. And most importantly, we'll update you on Mark Buehrle's candidacy. It doesn't seem like Mark Buehrle will be a Hall of Famer this year. However, the returns are pretty promising, so we'll talk about that. And then finally, James Fegan has continued to do fantastic, amazing work over at SoxMachine.com. And yet again, there's a fantastic, amazing article with him talking to Ryan Fuller. So we will dive into that because not much is happening. Not that James's work isn't good. It's just more that they, give me another Ryan Borucki. Why not? I'm bored. I want something. Give me some action. Maybe it's Michael Conforto. As stated previously, New York Post, John Heyman reporting that the White Sox have interest in Michael Conforto, mainly saying that now with Tucker off the board, there really isn't much else outfield help to be added, maybe unless you're a team that's in on Cody Bellinger. But outside of that, it's really Bellinger or bust. The others, including Conforto, are still trying to find homes. This is a player that I have liked for a very long time. This is a player that, if you do remember, back to 2022, the offseason of 2022, there was an offseason outfield pool that consisted of Brandon Nimmo, Joey Gallo, Michael Conforto, Michael Brantley, and Andrew Benintendi. And I said that the White Sox were allowed to sign Brandon Nimmo, Joey Gallo, Michael Conforto, or Michael Brantley, and that they were not allowed to sign Andrew Benintendi. Said this on December 7th, 2022. Somebody also asked, why? And I said, I don't think Benintendi is the type of player as the other 4. Brantley's hitting is more dependable. Gallo and Conforto are better athletes. And hey, I hate taking this victory lap because I just wish they didn't sign him at the end of the day, but the largest paid player in White Sox franchise history was Andrew Benintendi. And my biggest question with that was just, who was the competition? Is anyone else willing to offer $70 million for him? Was he gonna get a 5-year deal? Other people just offering him 4-year deals? If I ever get lucky enough to have Rick Hahn on this program, I will ask him about Andrew Benintendi's free agency for probably about 15 minutes. But I don't want Conforto in a weird way. He's not the worst athlete. Still, the numbers were obviously down, and if you look at his slash line, there's a real reason why the Dodgers are moving on from him. Pretty easy upgrade to make from Kyle Tucker over Michael Conforto. And Conforto was, bad last year. 199 batting average, 305 on base percentage, 333 slugging percentage, a 79 OPS plus, negative 0.7 BWAR, a really ugly, awful year for Michael Conforto. Not a player that I really want to be bringing on at this point. He is older, 32 years old. The White Sox are a fairly young team, so maybe he would bring in some veteran leadership, but he's not a player that really has ever brought a great defensive prowess to his game. He's always been an offensive first player. And we have a ton of offensive first players right now. It does seem like you're just muddying it to where I'm trying to figure out, like, what is interest? Are the White Sox a team that is called to really, gauge the outfield market? Is that something that they were interested maybe in December when they were looking for veteran bats? Chris Getz said so on MLB Network, I think, during the winter meetings. Chris Getz said they were looking for veteran bats. A couple days later, they would go out and sign Munetaka Murakami. So it does seem like their plans have changed. Maybe, Conforto was a part of past changes. I don't necessarily hate it. He walks a decent amount. He doesn't strike out an egregious amount. Last year, 25% to 11.5%. The damage numbers look fine. The bat speed looks fine. He made worse contact last year, but I do think that that's something that can be fixed. But again, like, if he was a guy you could put in right field, sure, sign him. But you look at his defensive value just on Fangraphs, it's been negative since 2020. Negative 2.5, negative 2.9, negative 4.2, negative 6.2, negative 8.6, negative 10.8. We don't need another player like this. Outfield, outs above average last year, negative 8 in left field for the Los Angeles Dodgers, negative 3 with San Francisco in 2024. Has not played right field since 2023. Just not a guy that I really want to see play the outfield for the White Sox. Negative 5 DRS. It doesn't make sense with Benintendi currently being unable to play the field and then forcing him to DH. It doesn't really make sense to put really Benintendi's like compadre out in left field. We just don't need another guy like that. If it's a deal that's worth, $2 million, $3 million, sure. Don't really, disagree with that. But it doesn't seem like a player that would sign for that little, and it doesn't seem like there is a real road for Michael Conforto. I would be shocked if they end up signing him. You look at the batted ball data, 25.1% damage per batted ball event. In 2024, it was 30.1, but that seems to be mostly an outlier. He's typically around the 20s, so 25 is pretty decent. But the one thing that he doesn't do is pull fly balls. You look consistently since 2015, 6.6% pulled fly ball percentage. Last year, 8.7%. He's only been over 10% 2 times in his career, and it's really a percent that's just gone down since 2015. His rookie year, 60.6 air percentage. That's fly balls plus line drives plus pop-ups, and in 2025, it's 58%. The MLB average is around 55.8, so it's a little bit above average, but when you are a bat first player, you need to be putting the ball in the air. And you could see when he wasn't hitting home runs last year, he doesn't really provide value to a team. So I would think they'd look for a glove first player. The issue with that is there's not really a glove first player out there, at least defensively. Honestly, I'd be more interested in like a Tommy Pham reunion. I know Tommy Pham's older than Michael Conforto. I know Tommy Pham's a little crazier than Michael Conforto, but I like the crazy. I think that could be some fun leadership, maybe some chaotic leadership. But even Pham's interest in advanced stats, there was a great article, I believe by Will Salmon, talking about Phamalytics, where Pham's interested in taking into sunlight positioning into catches, and then he was sharing videos on Twitter today of like playing really tough spots in Pittsburgh's like 640 light in left field, very similar to maybe what we would see at right field if you're ever there for like a 640 game and you're sitting in the bleachers and you have that sun just coming over like right on the bleachers and it's just peering right at you. You're like, how do these guys catch a ball? I think Tommy Pham's like, yeah, how do we catch a ball? We should be graded better when we're in these certain scenarios. So I think I'd rather be more interested in like a Tommy Pham, honestly, than a Michael Conforto. He just seems like a player that his best days are somewhat behind him. Max exit velocity is still performing to where he typically has been before his max career. Exit velocity is 114.4. Last year was 112.9. The year before that, 13.6. So maybe they are looking to tap into some pull side power with Conforto. But I think it's fairly unnecessary when you have Benintendi, Sosa. You need to figure out how to play Caro and Teal on a more consistent basis, and you'd think that would be with the DH spot, I'd rather go sign some Kelenic-ish type players, your Everson Perriera type players. In a weird, disgusting way, I think I'd rather see like a Tristan Peters than even a Michael Conforto. I don't really think that this is what the White Sox are going to do. I don't think Conforto is their current interest. And he's not really a player that dominates inside the zone. From 2018 to around 2021, he was above a 20 Seager rating. But the past couple of years, 12.6, 10.5, 11.8. He is typically, over the past 3 years, chasing more. He's swinging at worse pitches. He's swinging at less pitches inside the zone, more pitches outside the zone. I think that this is a player that is trending in the wrong direction, a player that I don't really want to see on the south side. So Michael Conforto, while it would be hilarious, if you look back into my Twitter receipts, you will find the Michael Conforto, Andrew Benintendi home run rankings, as I was pretty pissed off in the 2023 season, where by July 21st, Conforto had 13 home runs, and Benintendi on July 21st hit his second homer. It was a fairly disgusting season to follow, but we have one Andrew Benintendi. We don't need two Andrew Benintendis, and I think we'll leave it at that. Anyone under 30 is good for me. I think somebody mentioned, Ryan mentioned Tauchman. I mean, sure. Like, I don't hate him. I think he'd be less money than Conforto. And like, he had a decent year, but I really also, if we're talking about people that are on the decline, I mean, we have celebrated Michael Tauchman's injuries here at ALLCITY. The most viewed ALLCITY short of all time is Michael Conforto coming up lame, or maybe not anymore.
No, I think it's second, but you held first place for over a year.
Largest CHGO short.
Yeah.
So the largest CHGO short is Michael Conforto getting hurt. It's not funny, but hey, it's just the truth. Oh yeah, Mike Tauchman getting hurt. I just think that both players are not it. Noah in the chat. Noah said he's been wanting Austin Hayes for a while. He's 30. I mean, not really like a defender, at least on the defensive ratings per Fangraphs. You look left field, 507 innings last year, 1 out above average, -2 defensive runs saved. Hasn't played center field since 2023, but has played center field. Not much of right field. I mean, sure. I think Hayes might honestly cost more money, though, than Conforto. Because, while Conforto does bring a little bit of pop, Hayes just isn't like a player that will drown in a way. So I don't hate Hayes, but I kind of want somebody that has more potential rather than Hayes, maybe he gives you 2.7 WAR like he did in 2023, but that does seem like the top end. And I'm with the fat hipster. I'm not going to be upset if they take Conforto, even if they give him a non-cheap deal. If they give him $5 million, I will be questioning it, but they have money to spend, so it's not my money. If they're going to spend money, whatever. I just don't see the upside in the player. We're going to take a break. If you do have any thoughts, let us know in the chat. Hit that thumbs up button if you haven't already. We had 9 watching, right? And now it's 27. So there we go. That 26 number wasn't off. Let us know in your thoughts what you think about Conforto, outfield free agents. I'm going to talk about the Hall of Fame ballot coming up in just a second, and we're going to be able to hit our favorite punching bag in Bob Nightengale here on the CHGO White Sox podcast. We want to let you know about our friends over at Xfinity. Right now, you can lock in your price with our friends over at Xfinity with their 5-year price guarantee. What if you could have reliable and intelligent Wi-Fi? And what if you could redo it. What if you could have reliable and intelligent Wi-Fi? And what if you could keep that reliable and intelligent Wi-Fi for the same price for 5 whole years? That's the Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. Imagine Wi-Fi that makes everything in your home work together, that finds and fixes problems before you even notice them, like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a 6th sense. My wife doesn't know how to turn off the Wi-Fi machine, so I have to do that. If it could just do it by itself, amazing. And that lets you stream the game even when the whole family is online. All your devices working in perfect harmony for 5 whole years. And here's the best part. There's no annual contracts, no hidden fees, and Xfinity's best equipment is included. So take it from me, a lot can change in 5 years. At one point, Jeff Passan could say the White Sox are going to rule the decade, and then here we are. But your Wi-Fi, it should stay reliable, and prices should stay put. So lock in your price today. Unlock the possibilities with Xfinity. Learn more at Xfinity.com. Xfinity, imagine that. Select plans only. Restrictions apply. We also want to let you know about our friends over at Hooters. I have a ton of lifelong memories at Hooters. Shout out to John Anderson for taking me to Hooters for my whole life. They are ringing in the new year with Dry January. If you're looking to be less saucy this month, Hooters has your back. Check out their Black and Dry Rub. Ooh, it pairs perfectly with non-alcoholic beer like Michelob Ultra Zero, and they have a refreshing mocktail, the Red Bull Strawberry Smash, that's made with Red Bull and strawberry syrup. So stick to your resolutions at Hooters. Hooters is still the best lunch spot in town, and weekdays just got better with some of your Hooters favorites at $9.99 or less, like boneless wings, OG wings, blackened chicken Caesar salad, and the original burger, and more, available Monday through Fridays, 11 a.m. to 3 a.m. Hooters, 3 a.m. I think it's 3 p.m. That's my fault. Playoff season is better at Hooters. Go check out Hooters if you are trying to take in some of the last football games of the year. Cheer on your favorite teams at Hooters at any of the 11 Chicagoland Hooters locations like Oak Lawn. Shout them out. Check them out at originalhooters.com. That was an ad break, to say the least. All right, welcome back to CHGO Sports YouTube channel. This is the CHGO White Sox show. We appreciate everyone hanging out with us. Hit that thumbs up button if you are hanging out with us in the chat. We do have some starred comments that we'll get to in a sec, and then we'll also get into our Hooters original hot take. But Fat Hipster mentioning that we missed out our shot at Dick Mountain. Rich Hill has retired, and I think it was 15 career teams. We did get the Edwin Jackson experience. We did get the Octavio Dotel experience. We did not get the Rich Hill experience. So I also do feel a little bit remiss, Fat Hipster, that we didn't get to see Rich Hill in a White Sox uniform. I would have liked him this year. I would have been fine with him this year. You know, bring 47-year-old Rich Hill into my locker room. I'm fine with it. And then Algin, I don't know. How would you read that?
Algini Lopez.
Algini Lopez says Conforto is a DH hitter at this point. Definitely not worth $4 million. Agreed with you on that. Again, I just don't think that he's got the glove to make him worth really kicking the tires on. And then Polish Ninja says something really enlightening. White Sox should sell the team. They did. They reached an agreement with Justin Ishbia to sell the team between 2029 and 2034. So you're wrong, and the South Side is a dump. Again, you're wrong, and you suck, and I think your mother's a dump. Oh, I don't know if I can do that. We're not on fast.
We're not on
fast. Do that. Hey, great. Don't talk about the South Side like that. Okay, that's great. As a South Sider, I'm not going to listen to that. It's not a dump. All right, let's go to the favorites. Louis saying any live shows in Arizona next month. No comment, because I don't know exactly what we'll be doing, but it does seem very, 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 very likely that we'll be going to Arizona.
Yeah, I was like, it's in the works still.
It's in the works, but fingers crossed. I think that we will be having some spring training stuff. So I think that it's very, 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 very.
Let's put a pin in it.
Put a pin in it, but I wouldn't say no. I'd say maybe. There you go. We'll put a Sarah's like, shut up. All right, we're going to put a pin in it. All right, let's get into the Hooters hot take. And of course I have memories at Hooters, and some are food related. I love the Hooters hot wings. Some are not. Anyways, we were talking about our Hooters original hot take, brought to you by Hooters. Cheer on your favorite teams at any of the 11 Chicagoland Hooters locations, or check them out at originalhooters.com. We are very excited to talk about the Baseball Hall of Fame, because the current results that are rolling in, this is not final results. The final results will be at 6 p.m. and MLB Network will announce them. But from Ryan Thibodeau, who runs the tracker and counts all of the trackers, like all the ballots are sent to him. He updates the public ballots for the Hall of Fame, and he has a tracker. And to get to the point, it seems like Carlos Beltran will be a Hall of Famer. He's at 89.7% of the public and anonymous ballots. It looks like Andrew Jones will also be a Hall of Famer at 83.1%. He is a White Sox legend. Do not forget that. And then it does seem like Chase Utley will have the opportunity to be close. Utley in his third year is at 69.1% of the public ballots. So it does seem like Utley, Jones, and Beltran will be in contention to make the Hall of Fame this year. I think all three are fairly valuable. Utley seemed to have to face some penance for the slide that he did when he was a Dodger against the Mets. Beltran had to pay some penance for his involvement in the 27 Astros scandal, but now that he is welcome back into baseball and a part of the Mets front office, I mean, there's really no reason to hold him out, I think, of the Hall of Fame. Funny how it doesn't work for Barry Bonds when he becomes a hitter coach, but that's not the point here nor there. And Andrew Jones, one of the best defenders of all time in center field. Fantastic 30-30 threat at the plate as well. An absolute Hall of Famer. And again, White Sox legend. Ryan says Utley isn't a Hall of Famer. I don't know if you mean ballot-wise or reputation-wise. I think if Jeff Kent's getting in, Chase Utley deserves to get in. Utley is a really great second baseman. And it's, I mean, near 65 WAR. When you're talking about a team that has the worst Hall of Famer, at least statistically, in Harold Baines, I mean, this guy's got 30 more WAR than Harold Baines. And, you know, looking at nearly 260 homers at the second base position, 400 doubles. He doesn't have the accolade or maybe the peak that Dustin Pedroia did, where Pedroia was an MVP, but I do think that I do think Cole Hamels is deserving. Ryan also mentioned that Felix Hernandez should go in. He should, but I don't think it's going to be this year. Second year on the ballot for Hernandez, 55.1%. And I think the one thing that you are seeing, because even Felix, you heard it his entire career because he was on a poor Mariners team and wasn't getting a decent win-loss record, but still was one of the best pitchers for an entire decade. It does seem like there's more of an appreciation for these guys. Cole Hamels is on the ballot for the first time this year, and he's got 31.3%, which is absolutely huge for lefties, soft-tossing lefties. And it's very similar a case to Andy Pettitte and Mark Burley. Pettitte is on his 8th year. He's near 57.2%, but he hasn't really seen a huge jump as of late. Like in 2024, he wasn't this high. Even Burley's taken about a 10% jump. I think he was around 12% last year. He's now at 23%. So if you are hoping that Mark Burley will be a Hall of Famer, I don't know if it will be via this ballot, but I do think that when his time comes to a veterans committee, a la Baines, a la Dick Allen, I think that you're seeing the reputation of pitchers that put up as much work as they did get rewarded. If you have over 55 WAR as a starting pitcher, you have a decent shot to get in the Hall of Fame. Burley probably has the worst of, Hamels and Pettitte resume-wise. I disagree with Pettitte because I would knock him for steroids. If you're not going to vote in, Clemens, Bonds, etc., then you should knock Pettitte. I guess Pettitte, is close to being kicked off the ballot, but still he's got 2 more years left after this. It does seem like Pettitte will have a chance in the later 2 years, but I think that this does really open up the door for Mark Burley. The actual final in 2025 for Burley was 11.4%, and now he's up to 23%. Like, that's a massive, massive jump. You need 5% to stay on the ballot, so he is absolutely safe and will be on the ballot next year. But it does seem like, even Pettitte last year was 27.9%. He's now up to 50%. Cole Hamels coming in, it does seem to be that writers are gaining more respect for the pitchers of yore that we know we're not going to be able to see. Like, it's kind of amazing that, Crochet, I think, hit over 200 innings this year, but how many players, even in baseball this year, hit 200 innings? Like, it's just very rare, and that was what Burley specifically did year in and year out, was, start and be a workhorse for his team, and you're not really seeing workhorses anymore. 3 pitchers in 2025 went over 200 innings. Logan Webb, 207. Garrett Crochet, 205 and a third. Wouldn't it be nice to have that guy on your team? Christopher Sanchez, 202 innings pitched. And then, Carlos Rodon, 5th on this list at 195 and a third. Oh, great list. It's a great list. Love that list. Anyways, I'm with Turd Ferguson. Going to need Montgomery to hit around 35 homers. The original take, though, I actually never gave my take. The original take for Hooters, I think we have to go back to this, is that Bob Nightengale stinks. I think that we know very much, being White Sox fans, that Bob Nightengale has a certain relationship with Jerry Reinsdorf and the White Sox front office. But when Bob Nightengale puts out a public ballot with 3 votes, and one of them is for Omar Vizquel, your stomach gets a little sick, and you really start to questioning what's going on in this person's brain. It's upsetting that out of all of the valid Hall of Famers that are on the list, you have to go out and opine for Omar Vizquel, somebody who, didn't taint the game with a, usage of steroids, but as a coach, abused like a bat boy, like a bat boy with autism. Like, this is a disgusting, vile, nasty person, and you want to give them claim and you want to put them in the Hall of Fame for what reasons specifically? This is a person that has absolutely, ruined their reputation in baseball and does not deserve accolades like this. So, Ryan, you are right. Known awful person, Omar Vizquel, and known bad guy, I think, Bob Nightengale. Not like Omar Vizquel level or anything like that, but like, why are you voting for that? Like, that's a bad decision. That's a bad idea. And you made a bad choice, Bob Nightengale, by including Omar Vizquel into your Hall of Fame ballot. I don't care what that player did on the field. They're an awful human being. Shout out to Wes Helms for also being an awful human being, and both of them getting fired from the White Sox organization. So, woohoo. Omar Vizquel, former White Sox shortstop, and then former, Birmingham Baron assistant coach. Just nasty stuff. Yeah, go look into it. It's real fun. I obviously, more just shooting from the cuff here. But yeah, he had a sexual harassment lawsuit. The Athletic reported on it in 2021 that Vizquel and the White Sox were being sued in the U.S. District Court for the Northern District of Alabama by a Birmingham Barons bat boy who alleged that Vizquel sexually harassed him and targeted him because of his autism. And they reached a confidential settlement in 2022. And in 2023, Vizquel said he regretted some of the words he said to the bat boy, but could not discuss details due to the indictment due to the settlement, and said he was not suspended by MLB, but had not been invited to several events from his former teams because he's gross. Cool. Let's take a break here on the CHGO White Sox podcast. We want to let you know about our friends over at Huel. Sarah, we just had a producer meeting with our friend Steven, and what's he all about?
Protein and fitness and health.
And strength. And he's always having chaotic days. He's always having some messy days producing CHGO Bears. But we know that after every single workday, he's going to go work out. He's going to go jump in his sauna. He's going to go jump in his hot tub. And to balance those chaotic days, he can look to Huel to hit his protein goals, because that's very important for our guys like Steven. This bundle is all about consistency. Go check out Huel. They are going to give you the ready-to-drink protein drinks that right here. They also have powder, which you can control and customize high-protein complete meals. And with the drinks, the ready-to-drink, you get 35 grams of protein. The powder, you get 40 grams of protein, along with 27 essential vitamins and minerals. It's gluten-free, so our guy Mario wouldn't have to worry about any issues with that. No artificial sweeteners, colors, or flavors, and it's under $5 per meal. So go check out their Black Edition ready-to-drinks, plus the Black Edition chocolate powder, and check out the high-protein starter kit from Huel. Get Huel's full high-protein starter kit today with our exclusive offer, 20% off online with our code WhiteSox20 at Huel.com/WhiteSox20. New customers only, and it makes hitting your protein goals a lot less stressful. We want to let you know about our friends over at Ray CDJR. If you are in the market for a brand new car, check out our friends over at Ray Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram. This is your chance to score a great deal at the Ray Resolution Sales Event. Head to Ray CDJR on Route 12 to choose from their huge inventory of new Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram vehicles. And right now, get 0% financing for 72 months, plus no payments until spring on new Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram models. Plus, shop over 125 vehicles priced under $20,000 with a friendly team of brand experts. The team at Ray CDJR is here to help you during each step of your car shopping journey. Plus, since they prioritize affordability, you know you won't overpay for each vehicle that you need. I don't know why I said each, because you probably just need one. With Ray's Price Promise, you can shop confidently with no add-ons or hidden fees ever, and the price you see is the price you pay. It's simple with our friends over at Ray CDJR. So don't miss out on the Ray Resolution sales event for huge savings on new models. For more information, visit Ray CDJR today on Route 12 in Fox Lake or online at raycdjr.com. They've been serving the community since 1963. Sorry to get off the rails there here on the CHGO White Sox podcast, but even then, when Bob writes on usatoday.com, you can command F Omar and you could command F Vizquel, and he does not mention Omar Vizquel once. He posted the picture of his ballot, voting for Carlos Beltran, voting for Andrew Jones, and voting for Omar Vizquel, and gave no reasoning on why he thinks Omar Vizquel should be a Hall of Famer. He talks about several people's candidacy in the USA Today article and does not mention Vizquel and the player that he voted for. I think it's absolutely nasty work by Bob Nightengale. Like, sucks. Like, that dude sucks. That dude absolutely sucks. That is some crap. Hit that thumbs up button if you haven't already. Make sure to subscribe to the CHGO Sports YouTube channel. We are going to head over to SoxMachine. People who do not suck. Ryan Fuller talked to James Fegan of SoxMachine. I'm a proud supporter of SoxMachine. I think I'm at the MVP tier or one of those tiers. If you do want to go support great independent journalism, especially covering the White Sox, SoxMachine.com. James, Jim, and Josh do a fantastic job. And especially, too, they have recently been putting GIFs into their articles. I think that this has been something maybe since like October that they've been doing, but it makes just what they're talking about pop off the screen. It is fantastic stuff. Ryan Fuller talked to James Fegan about some of the players that they've recently acquired and what they're trying to accomplish. First off, stuff that just made me want to drool about Munetaka Murakami. Fuller said, in 2 strike counts, he has the ability to back the ball up, move his ball flight down a little bit, use the whole field, and rather than just looking to do damage to the pull side, so this is an advanced hitter. This is a player, too, that more than anything else, his swing is built to work up through the zone and hit pitches far out of the park. If you are focused on doing more damage, then most of the time, contact is going to fall off a bit. But if the damage is at an elite level, contact being a little bit lower is okay. However, hitters are smart. Mune is a really smart guy, and he's going to see if the damage isn't that high at this time, how he will respond. But that was what I tried to point out. And we just talked about this with Yuri Karasawa of Yaku Cosmo on yesterday's episode. But Murakami, what separates him from the Chris Carters of the world or the Trey Cabbages or some of these guys that have gone MLB to NPB, like Munetaka, even if the zone contact is low, when he's making contact, the ball is ripped from its seams. Like his probably 70th percentile exit velocity, if you take his top 30 percentile exit velocities, are probably top 5 in Major League Baseball, right? Like, he is just hitting the ball so consistently hard that is really what you need to be amazed by. That if he does get a hold of one, your mean Mercedes 485-foot homer record at right field can easily be broken. This is a guy that can hit the what's it called? The concourse. We saw Colson Montgomery do it this year, but I think even maybe out to right center. Like, this guy's got crazy, crazy, crazy pop, and it's great to hear that with Ryan Fuller and some ideas of what White Sox hitters get to look at. Fuller says they do a really good job with the White Sox of making sure guys have simple, actionable plans rather than a coach talking to them for 20 minutes. It's, here are visuals, here's what we're trying to do, here are the ranges we're trying to get. Are you on the same page? And usually it's a, yes, that made sense, let's go do it. Fuller said that Mooney wants to be challenged. He wants to be great. So it's making sure that we are understanding his swing, what he values, and then challenging it to make sure that it's going to hold up. I don't know about you. I'm a visual learner. I think the idea that you could just give somebody the idea of, this is what we need you to do, whether it's visual cues of standing up straight, and that's something that, Colson Montgomery and Miguel Vargas have talked about. And that's something that, too, during the season, it kind of felt like they were leaving out parts of the hitter's journey, like Vargas making his stance change. Like, it felt like it could have been more in depth. but it really doesn't seem like it's actually in depth at all. Like, it does seem like we want you to stand up straighter. We want you to maybe start making contact out in front of the plate a little bit more. Yeah, I don't have the visuals specifically to explain, but it does seem like it's very kind of cut and dry. And if they don't understand something, then the coaches are there to help them lead. But as long as you are able to convey the message clearly, and if you're able to do that visually, the White Sox should be able to have success. And that's where this quote from Fuller that, just gets me really, really excited when talking about Getz and talking about the front office. Fuller said, higher bat speed guys are going to have a higher ceiling here. It's making sure we feel confident and comfortable with having the plan in place for the skill of need that they have while also maintaining their strengths. All these guys offer certainly offensive upside, but they're bringing defensive and speed to the equation as well. So when you talk about a Jared Kelenic, when you talk about a Munetaka Murakami, when you talk about an Everson Perriera, they are trading up the middle athletes. They are trying to find up the middle athletes that they can tweak and try to turn into the next thing for the White Sox. And it's just extremely refreshing. You're not going after known commodity Michael Conforto. And even though I liked Conforto 2 years ago, 3 years ago, a lot has changed. I mean, he's 3 years older. You're not going after Mike Tauchman, whose thigh muscle is coming off the bone. You're going after players that have been yet to be unlocked. And while it might be an arduous, long track, there's talk of Fuller going and meeting with Perriera. There's talks of him and Murakami chatting. And then even more in depth, there's talks of him doing cage work with Jared Kelenic already, and how Kelenic seems to be a player that really does understand his swing, and it's really easy to communicate with him, and it's probably a player that loves the amount of feedback the White Sox are able to provide. And one thing with Kelenic is Fuller mentioned that after the toe tap was abandoned, and when he gets to that launch position where his front foot hits the ground, he's in an athletic posture to make adjustable movements regardless of what pitch is coming to him. As he's maturing, it's understanding I don't have to swing for a fastball and I don't have a separate swing for the breaking ball. It's how do you get into the box and feel like this is what I'm able to compete with all the pitch types. I don't have to feel like I'm doing anything different, and I'm trained and I know how to do it. The idea of, maybe Kelenic is a little bit too much in his head, and if he can just get comfortable with his swing, he maybe can stand outside of it and just react to the pitches. Kelenic is a player that I'm very excited about. And when you have projects like Perriera, Kelenic, Peters isn't that impressive, but he is a player that is depth. Like, I'm more interested in fringe guys that maybe haven't reached there. Maybe I'm going to be facing more Joshua Palacioses, but where is Michael Conforto truly going to go? Maybe it's 1 year of decent work, but at best, you trade him at July. I would rather somebody that I could get possibly excited for 2027 if they're able to, hit and properly develop those players. Bo Knows Ball says zero interest in Conforto / Castellano types. I'd rather roll with Baldwin, Kelenic, Perriera in right field. For years, we've had Kupel fix him with arms. Let's see if Fuller and Showman can do the same. And Ball. That's exactly what I'm saying. So I completely agree with you, Bo. Who knows ball? So where are we at time check wise, Sarah? 38. Okay. That's mostly what I have to talk about today. So I don't know if we could wrap this up. Sorry to get a little bit weird with the Bob Nightengale stuff, but it just makes me a little bit peeved, as you could probably tell, when somebody is getting a shine and a light like that.
Can I say one thing?
They're not even backing up their take.
My one thing is, because I just went through the comments real quick, and a very valid take, and this I think with a lot of people in baseball more specifically, is steroids.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of guys used steroids back in the day and not allowed to be in the Hall of Fame, but some things are allowed and some things aren't.
Yeah, right.
And just is confusing.
Yeah, I mean, he's not voting for A-Rod. He's not voting for Barry Bonds. He's not voting for Pettit.
Because, steroids is where we draw the line.
Oh, steroids is where we draw the line. Those are the bad people.
Those are bad.
Those are the bad people. Those damn steroid users that have paid the price. And, honestly, we're just doing what everyone else was doing. It's not great, but also it's people had a lot of fun watching steroid users. So it's not like it was like the worst thing that's ever happened. Like, you want to stop steroid use so people aren't harming themselves. But, they weren't harming anyone else but themselves. And, they paid the price for them. But, most of those guys are fine. It's not like CTE where these guys are going to be irreparably damaged for the later years. And they're just going to continue to get worse. You'd think if you're able to get away from using steroids, your body can return to a normal level. And hey, shout out to Jen Dog. Stop with the white on gray comments.
This is a conversation our head producer Steven, him and I talked about that, and it's actually a lot more complicated than you think on getting that, because we have to get approval from the higher ups on changing certain things that are on the screen. So behind the curtain a little bit for Gen Dog, that's kind of the reason why that hasn't changed yet. But we do hear people's complaints.
Joey did it one day, so we might have to hear from the higher ups.
But that is something we are aware. And yeah, I would like to also change the white box on the gray as well, because for your show, you can't really read them.
No.
So yeah, we do know though.
You can't. And Jess Shytown says he agrees between Kelenic and Perriera, one will turn out and pan out. I also think too, there's going to be more than Kelenic and Perriera. If they're interested in Conforto, it might be more outfield types. So I'm just more, if it's Kelenic, if it's Perriera, if it's Johnny off the street, whatever, I don't care. I just want them to be chasing athletes who can swing the bat fast. And even Bo saying, we're due as an organization for a Carlos Quentin type breakout season for a hitter, maybe not quite MVP level, but a 115 to 120 weighted runs created type bat. I think that could be Kelenic. Even in the article, too, James goes in and talks about how Kelenic has been much better against breaking balls. And he's always been decent against fastballs. In 2023, when he had his best year, he was better against fastballs. Or that was his best year against fastballs. So the White Sox, who were fantastic in the second half against fastballs, are able to tap into his already decent prowess against fastballs, and he already is improving against breaking balls. I think that could be where the player makes maybe a stride to 115, 120. And that's the thing, too. Maybe he's not just an everyday player. Maybe he is a left-on right bat, but hopefully you're able to balance that with a decent platoon. Then CHGO Troll says, little fella got stopped fanboying big dudes. For sure. I'm just saying, people enjoyed baseball. Baseball had a really great moment between Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa. Do we need to be, banning them from the Hall of Fame because of what everyone else was doing? I don't think so. I don't know. People also loved the muscled up, hulked up dudes from WWE, and then Eddie Guerrero. It's also had, just a terrible incident with steroids, and they had to go away from that.
It's just comparing, Yeah,
well, it's again, I'm not saying that they should be taking steroids. I'm just saying that really that 15-year span or 10-year span shouldn't be banned completely from the Hall of Fame. There should be at some point a steroid committee where you go in and actually have 25 writers talk about this and see if there is any way to get these players voted in or have some separate hall, because Barry Bonds also had a point in time where he wasn't taking steroids and was still the best player in Major League Baseball, and he was a little skinny dude on the Pirates. So you want
to know what should be banned? Certain things. Certain things should be banned.
What?
Certain actions of players.
Oh yeah. No, scumbags should be banned. Yeah, absolutely.
Those guys should be banned.
We should ban scumbags. And then Algeny Lopez saying with his lineup, Mydroff leading off, Teal second, Montgomery third, Murakami 4, Vargas 5, Caro third. I think you have him playing DH. Yeah, Robert 7. Robert won't bat 7. Benny 8. Baldwin 9. It's tough because, again, lineups are going to change every single day with this team because they're going to have a decent amount of platoon splits and etc. I think Mydroff being the leadoff hitter could be maybe like their first iteration, but if Mydroff sucks come May, he'll be dropped from that spot. And then, you know, you also don't want Teal, Montgomery, Murakami. That's left. So you want to probably break that up at some point. Robert's not going to bat 7. He's going to bat above Vargas. So, I think there's definitely some tweaks to be made. We're going to wrap it up here on the CHGO White Sox podcast. Appreciate everyone hanging out with us. And CHGO said he did like the muscled up guys, but it was faked. He was raised a Cardinal fan, but McGuire made me a Sox fan. And hey, that's the one guy right here that like you can confidently say from that era that is a Hall of Famer that wasn't taking steroids. He was just the biggest dude alive in Frank Thomas. So, you know, at least we do have Frank Thomas to root on. There was a massive superhero-like player at first base in the Midwest hitting a ton of home runs, and it was just Frank Thomas. Anyways, appreciate everyone hanging out with us. Hit that thumbs up button. Make sure you're subscribing to the CHGO Sports YouTube channel. We'll be back tomorrow at 4:30. We'll talk to you then. Goodbye.
We all silly like the mayor.